Hey, how you doing? Today I want to talk about perfectionism. This is a big one. This is a big one for me personally, and this is a big one when it comes to recovery. A huge proportion of people who develop CFS, fibromyalgia, and similar illnesses are perfectionists. We are perfectionists. What does it mean to be a perfectionist? It means you have very high standards for yourself, usually unrealistically high, and they're ever increasing. You cannot be happy with anything really. Always gotta go further, always gotta push. And in some ways this is good. The problem is, in people like us, it's just too much. It's pathological. It's not good anymore to the degree that we have it. And then, in addition to having these high standards, there's a tendency to be very self-punishing when we can't meet those unrealistic standards, which is all the time. Because no matter how much we achieve, it's just not good enough. So, what do we do about it? How do we deal with it? So the first thing is, we've got to get to the root of it. How did it come about? How come we're like this? And it's a difficult question, and no doubt there is a combination of genes and our upbringing, our experiences. So genes, what can we do about that? Nothing. So we've got to examine, did we have a critical parent or a critical teacher or a coach or anyone in our life that was very critical? Is there some other reason? I mean, a critical figurehead in your life early on tends to sort of produce this sort of thing, but maybe there's other reasons as well. I don't know. And after we've sort of explored where's all this coming from, we've got to now deal with it today. We've got to change our behavior. We've got to change our internal way of being. And here I want to sort of take a little aside. Dr. Sarno in his book talks about you don't have to change your personality. You probably couldn't. And when I first came across that, I got the impression, well, I don't have to worry about it. But you do have to change it. You do have to tone down your perfectionism. You're not going to be able to overcome it, or maybe you will, I don't know. But you've got to tone it down, because a perfectionist is constantly anxious, constantly worried about, oh my God, I haven't achieved, oh my God, this could be better, oh my God, what have I done, This kind of mindset is constantly generating emotions like fear, anxiety, and anger that then out of that flow physical symptoms. And so, in order to deal with this, we've got to tone it down. We've got to tone it down. So, there's only really one main way that I know how to change this sort of thing about myself. If you have any other tips, I'd love to hear, but here's what I do. Awareness. You've got to be always aware. Notice every time that you get sucked into that state of, gotta, push, achieve. For example, I'm a software engineer, and so I'm writing some computer code, and it's not working, and I start beating myself up. Or it is working, but it could be better, and I start beating myself up, and I'm thinking about it 24/7, and it's just excessive. And you can feel it when you're in that state of, you've gotten sucked into that, and this is happening to someone like me all the time, all day, every day, having to do with work, having to do with hobbies, having to do with pretty much everything in my life, anything I do. So I stay mindful. I keep on the lookout for it. And every time it happens, I say, aha, you're doing it again. Okay, good, you've caught it. And now I produce positive self-talk. I say kind things to myself, like, you know, you're good enough just as you are. You don't have to produce more and more and more in order to like yourself, in order to feel that you're okay. I try to disentangle my self-esteem from achievement, from, doing everything perfectly. If I make a mistake, well, that's okay. If I don't become the world's best programmer or the world's best dancer or whatever, that's fine. That's not a big deal. That's what we all are in most areas of our lives. Even if you're best at one thing, at everything else, you're not going to be the best. You can really only be the best at one thing, and even that is extremely rare. But for me, it was so extreme that, I would see a jazz musician, and I don't play a musical instrument, but I would see a jazz musician, and then, oh my God, I gotta practice my trumpet, and I gotta become like this, the best, jazz musician. And then the next day, I'm watching a football game, soccer game. I'm a big fan, and oh my God, look at Messi, look how well he plays. Look at Ronaldo. I've gotta practice more so I can play like them. It's ridiculous. And then I want to win a gold medal and a Nobel Peace Prize and a Nobel Prize, in physics or whatever. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, I tell you this now, but these thoughts do sort of enter my mind, like, how come I'm not achieving those things? How come? So it's been pretty extreme for me, and I'm doing much, much better nowadays. It's still there. It's very hard to get rid of completely. And you don't want to get rid of it completely because it's a good quality. I like being ambitious. I like achieving, but I just don't want it pathological. I don't want it to the point where it's created an illness for me. It's destroyed my life, really, for many years. So if this sounds familiar, you've got to address it, because it's going to be very difficult to recover unless you address it. And it takes time. It's really difficult. So don't be perfectionistic about overcoming your perfectionism. Yeah? So just realize that it's okay to be ordinary. We're all ordinary for the most part, and that's okay. And then be aware of when you are getting sucked into that perfectionism, and remind yourself, hey, it's okay. Relax. You don't need to. Put it off till tomorrow. You've accomplished enough. Take a break, and so on, and so on. So I hope this has been helpful. Please like my videos, because the more you like them, the more YouTube will spread the message. And I really hope to reach as many people as I can, because I struggled for this for many, many years, and I know I'm at the end of my struggles, and I know this is going to be behind me, and it's already largely behind me. So, see you next time.